Psychology tells a quiet truth about overthinkers, one that rarely makes it into everyday conversation. Minds like yours are often misread, mislabeled, and misunderstood in a world that favors speed over depth. If you recognize yourself here, let this settle in gently. There is nothing fragile or dysfunctional about the way you think. You are not excessive, you are not unstable, and you are not broken. What you carry is not a defect, but a different cognitive architecture, one that refuses to skim the surface of life. Your thoughts don't rush, they descend. While others move quickly from one moment to the next, your mind lingers, exploring layers, asking questions, filling in gaps that others don't even notice. This depth can make everyday thinking seem careless, even risky. To you, unexamined decisions feel incomplete, as though something important has been left unsaid or unseen. When the world grows quiet and your mind does not, it's easy to believe something is wrong. But the replaying of conversations, the careful examination of tone, the habit of imagining multiple futures, these are not signs of mental chaos. They are signs of vigilance. Psychology recognizes this as a form of cognitive alertness, sometimes described as a sentinel mind. A sentinel does not panic. A sentinel watches. When you overthink, your mind isn't spiraling, it's surveying. It scans for emotional shifts, subtle dangers, and consequences that haven't yet taken shape. You are not trapped in worry. You are positioned at the edge of awareness. Your thoughts move ahead of the present moment, mapping what could happen, not because you expect harm, but because you are wired to notice before others do. In a world that mistakes silence for peace and speed for clarity, your mind stays awake, not to torment you, but to protect you. From an evolutionary perspective, this tendency once kept people alive. Long before comfort and certainty existed, survival depended on anticipation. The individuals who noticed subtle changes, who questioned silence, who imagined what could go wrong before it did, those were the ones who endured. Modern psychology supports this idea. Worry and heightened foresight are closely associated with higher cognitive engagement and intelligence. What feels like anxiety today was once preparation. Your mind is designed to predict danger before it appears, not because you expect the worst, but because you value safety for yourself and for those you care about. While others move forward impulsively, you mentally rehearse possibilities. You build internal maps. You plan escape routes. You prepare solutions before problems are even visible. Yet threat detection alone doesn't explain why a single awkward sentence from years ago can still echo in your mind. That comes from the way you process emotion. You don't skim feelings. You immerse yourself in them. Your brain runs detailed emotional simulations, not to punish you, but to prevent harm. People who overthink are rarely self-centered. In fact, they are often profoundly empathetic. Psychology refers to this as predictive emotional processing. When you replay conversations, it isn't because you're obsessed with yourself, it's because you're trying to understand how your presence may have affected someone else. You are deeply sensitive to misunderstanding. You fear causing pain without realizing it. While many people speak impulsively and move on, you weigh your words carefully. You carry emotional responsibility long after the moment has passed. You don't just remember what was said, you remember how it might have felt. That level of care comes at a cost. It drains energy. And from the outside, that exhaustion is often misread as laziness or disinterest. In reality, you possess what psychologists call a deep processing nervous system. You don't simply experience life, you interpret it. You examine it. You absorb layers others never notice. This is closely linked to the highly sensitive person trait. Your brain doesn't filter out subtle stimuli. You detect micro-expressions, tonal shifts, pauses, and emotional undercurrents hidden beneath casual words. Scientific research shows that your mind processes information more thoroughly than average. That's why a day that looks uneventful can leave you completely depleted. You weren't idle, you were mentally active the entire time, processing sensory input, emotional data, and unspoken signals that others unconsciously ignored. But this depth isn't just a burden. It's also a gift. The same mental intensity that fuels overthinking is the source of creativity. This is where your mind reveals its hidden strength. Overthinking is not imagination gone wrong. It's imagination without direction. Studies consistently show a strong connection between anxiety and creativity. The brain that constructs worst-case scenarios is the same brain that creates art, strategies, stories, and breakthroughs. Your mind is an engine built for complexity. When it isn't given something meaningful to work on, it turns inward and generates problems where none exist. But when properly engaged, that same mental power produces insight, innovation, and originality. You aren't struggling because something is wrong with you. You're struggling because your potential isn't being fully used. Your brain is restless because it's under-challenged. There's another layer to this as well. Overthinkers often carry an unspoken refusal to accept mediocrity. Beneath the analysis and hesitation is a quiet form of perfectionism. You don't overanalyze because you're indecisive. You do it because you care deeply about doing things well. You don't want acceptable outcomes. You want the right ones. Psychological studies show that while this trait can elevate stress levels, it also leads to higher quality work, stronger long-term decisions, and greater personal integrity. You think deeply because your standards are high. You constantly measure reality against your inner vision of how things could and should be. So if you overthink everything, it doesn't mean you're malfunctioning. It means your mind is tuned for foresight, empathy, sensitivity, and excellence. You carry the mindset of a strategist in a world that celebrates speed and impulsivity. You're not broken. You're simply running a more advanced operating system. If this exploration has stirred something within you, share your thoughts in the comments or simply your presence. Thank you for walking this path with us today. If this journey has stirred something within you, reflection, awareness, even clarity, know that you are not alone. Until next time, take care of your energy and honor your intuition.